Good morning. Looks like I'm not working today, which is cool. I haven't been told. Um, I called the other week on a day off, an office to go to work, and they allowed me to. And I guess the district um, contacted my postmaster or OIC at the moment. And I guess, yeah. So therefore, I got a little heat for that. I mean, I didn't literally work. I called and the supervisor allowed me to work. But so, yeah, I'm going to behave myself and not rock the boat on that. On days off, I'll take the day off. I'm just getting hours because, you need to work, make money to, so therefore, yeah, I guess the district found out my hours. I guess they probably have software that alerts them. I guess they said that I hadn't had a day off in a while. You know what I mean? So therefore, yeah, it's a good day to have off. It's going to be a wintry mix out there. I survived the snowstorm and delivered mail in the snowstorm, and I learned something. Actually, when it's snowing and it was freaking cold, it was below 20. I didn't want to drive the vehicle because it's on a hill. It's a city on a hill. So, and I had been on this route a few times, 3 times before, and I'd finished this route. So this route, I know it. I know it now. So I just maximized my park point, and not really. Yeah, 5 park points for the whole route, and I got it done. I'm in Westfield this week, and never been on the route, and I got it done the first time by 6. Not a big deal. It's a cumbersome route off a main drag. A lot of businesses. It's just, the second day I saw the flow of it, and it wasn't a big deal. But it's still not really a fun route to do. It's just going through these mega plazas. You're off main drag. It's just, it feels cumbersome, the way it flows. So it makes you feel slow. And so the second day I got it done at 4:15. And then the third day in a row I was on the same route. Yeah, well, the second day I had papers. So you're going to be at every address for the residential that's beforehand and after. There's some residential there. So the third day I got it done at 3:25. So, the confidence that gives me allows me to realize that just learn the route. You'll learn the route. Once you learn the route, you get faster. Don't be too freaking crazy when you've never been on the route before. You're going to be slower on the first time when basically you're learning the route by doing it. Of course, I'll look at the case, but then you don't really remember it after you leave the case. So therefore, what you're doing is you're looking at the DPS, you see the address on the DPS, and then you go to that address and you're eyeballing a park point. And what I like to do is try to park in a spot that I can get in and out of easy and quick. There's this one park point. There's a trailer park. It has a cluster parks. And right beside the trailer park, it's like 10 yards of green. There's this empty lot. Well, it has easy access to this main drag. So I park there, and then I just cut across the lot, go to the cluster box, and I deliver the mail. It's like maybe 30 yards. And then I go back, boom, I can go right across the road and then go up to my next stop. So if I had to drive into that trailer park, it would take a while because it's a pain in the ass. It's tight. You know what I mean? It's a pain in the ass. It would take a while to get out of there. Plus, then I'd have to do a U-turn down the road to come back this way to go across. So in this parking lot here, I can just go right across and then boom. So I'm literally probably saving 10 minutes right there by that parking point. So as you get to know a route, you'll remember it better. Then you start to eyeball which are good park points, and that can help you be more efficient, which is good. Good park points make it easier for you. It's a smoother experience delivering the mail. So yeah, that's really park points. When you're learning a route, pay attention and look at what a good park points are, and you'll have a better experience because you can lose a lot of time parking, trying to get out of areas, especially in some areas that don't have easy turnarounds. You can lose a lot of time. So, yeah, it got really a lot better. I mean, yeah, I know that I had 200 packages to pick up at this factory, so, and they said, oh yeah, the guy's usually here at 2:30. So on the third time I was there at 2:35. So I was there at the time the regular is. So that's a pretty good benchmark. And I think a big crucial factor in that is the park points. Also, there's this one park point. You have the loop Lindbergh Boulevard. Then there's a loop McKinley Terrace. And then you have Main Street all the way down from 145 all the way down. And then there's Exchange that comes this way, and then boom, and then to 183 Main Street. So it's bound up as like 5 loops. You got Lindbergh, boom. Yeah, 5 loops. So what I do is I stay parked right before that McKinley Terrace. I mark the bundle to the bundle, just like 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And then, of course, I have the first one in my hand. Put it all in my satchel and with the spurs. And then I walk all those loops at one fell swoop. And then I go down and attack the plaza, the mega shopping plaza mall. That isn't too bad. The first day, I didn't know anything about it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, naturally, I'm using Google Maps and trying to figure out where these locations are. And so then I started to see how it flows. And then the second day it got better. And the third day, it definitely got better. So, yeah, that one park point covered 5 loops, and I walked it all. And, that is a good thing about a business loop. Like that, it's not really package heavy. And really the mail isn't too heavy. So really it's not a terrible loop. It's not a terrible route. It has the Western Mass Hospital. I think it's like a state hospital. I'm not sure. It's a state facility. And then there's the Examiner up there, and then boom, there's an apartment complex. And that apartment complex, that's probably my work. Nope. It's pretty easy. Some cluster boxes, some old time homes that are apartment complexes. The people that receive mail that won't have the apartment number. And of course, there's like 300 places that live in this complex, in this building. And if they're not well marked, then it's like, oh man, you can spend a lot of time. It seems like a pattern of elderly homes where people send them mail and don't put the the apartment number and the address. So yeah, that can take some time. But this place, it's numbered. Um, it's a breeze. I mean, it's a breeze. So it's not a real bad route. It's a good route that way. And then you go down and you attack the main drag. I'll park at the auto mall and I'll walk the loop. Just 5 businesses, and then you go down and go to Home Depot, and then I like to park beside Home Depot and cut across to get to the bank. And then I have an easy right turn onto the main drag. And so, yeah, setting up good park points makes the day smooth. Um, so it's definitely a lot of collection boxes, like 6 of them. So it's more of a collection route. So it wasn't bad. Done before 3:30 on the 3rd time. I improved over an hour each time I did it. So don't let yourself get all fucked up. Just learn the route. You'll get faster. Definitely, if you can bring your parcels with you when you're walking the loop, do it. I minimize the dumping of packages. I try to walk the spurs out as many as I can, and then I dump. I don't go ahead anymore. Loops ahead. That was costing me time. So yeah, that's really made a big difference in my efficiency, is getting the parcels out. And they make, my philosophy is, if you simplify the mail, you're going to be more accurate and you're going to be faster, right? It's not really rocket science. And the post office, I guess you're not supposed to case the FSS or the RSS. Yeah, I think it's called the FSS, because they sequence it. But now you have 3 bundles. And I guess you're supposed to case the spurs. If it's flat, you case it. But sometimes the spurs have a bottle in it. So when you have the flats and you have spurs in there that have circular devices in there, then you have a situation where you have like a bar of soap in your arm. It's a pain in the ass. All you got to do is you're coming close to dumping the crap on the ground, So, I just put them in my satchel. Then I'm not going to dump anything that's on my my arm, because it's a pain in the ass. And if I see envelopes on my flats, I'll merge them into my DPS. Because, I don't want to be dumping small envelope stuff. So technically, you have 4 bundles, because I treat the spurs as a separate. I put them in the satchel. I mean, if it's a flat, yeah, I'll put it in the flats. But I guess technically, by the rule, the post office sees a shoebox size package as a flat. That's a package. That's not a spur. I mean, it should be like an inch. Nothing bigger than an inch isn't a spur. Not something that's a shoebox. Because I've done that where I've had just one package, and I'm like, I don't want to drive for this package, so I'll carry it. And it's literally just maybe like a shoebox. And so therefore I'm carrying it on my arm, but then it's a little bit of a pain because I can barely see my DPS. But it's worth it, right? Because then I don't have to drive there, and I can get rid of it as I walk it. So I'm saving time doing it. So I put up with that to do that. So, yeah, of course, I couldn't put it in my satchel because I had all the loops in there, but it's worth it. Then I don't have to go back to the truck. I can just, in one fell swoop, walk all the loops and be done with it and go on to the next. I mean, it's worth it. So 3 bundles. I mean, as I said in the other video, a big key is having the mail ready by the time you get to the next mailbox. Therefore, you can have it here. You can use your hand to open up and then drop in one fell swoop. It's easy to do when you have 2 bundles. When you have 3, it's possible, but it's more difficult. It's more difficult to have the mail ready to drop by the time you get to the next mailbox if you have 3 bundles, especially if the houses are closer together. When the houses are further apart, it's easier. So then what you're doing is you're actually slowing down the mail by having 3 bundles. So at the start of each loop, I don't do the whole route at once. I don't do that. But at the start of the loop, I'll create 2 bundles for myself. And then I'm walking with 2 bundles. And then I'm ready for each mailbox. I'm not filtering between this, and this. I have my spurs and loops here, and I got flats FSS and the flat spurs here, and then I got my DPS in this hand, and then I'm boom, boom, boom. 2 bundles. Then I'm ready for each address. It doesn't take that long. I understand one supervisor told me, he's like, oh, they don't want you sitting in the truck too long at the start of the route. Okay. And I guess also they invested the money in the machines for the flats to sequence. So they're thinking, well, those FSS are in order to the loop that you're on. So therefore, it's not a big deal. Carry the 3rd bundle. But it's still 3 groups that you're looking at. It slows you down. Because it's not like an EDDM. An EDDM, it's not a problem. You just bring the EDDM to the DPS finger and match and then drop, right? I mean, and it doesn't take too long, especially if it's paper day. And most of the addresses are going to get a paper. Not everyone, but the mass majority will. So then all you're doing is just bring the FSS, match it to the paper, and then match your flats to that. It doesn't take too long when you have the paper that can guide you. Just like and then 2 bundles. You originally had 4, and now you have 2. It takes like maybe, probably not even 2 minutes at the start of each loop to do that. Then you're working with 2 bundles, and then you can be ready for each mailbox. So the more I think about it, the 2 bundle system just works. It's freaking simple. It makes it easier. Then you're going to be more accurate. You're going to be faster. 2 bundles. 2 bundles. I guess some supervisors will get all heated with you. Don't do it. So I guess don't rat yourself out. Don't rat yourself out. Some supervisors don't care. They're not the micromanager type. Some supervisors never have carried before. Some supervisors didn't carry for too long before they became supervisors. So I think you can look at that with some supervisors and how they allow you to work and have some breathability versus their experience out there carrying versus a clerk that became a boss, you know what I mean, versus a short-term carrier that became a boss. So, yeah. They're going to catch you. Doesn't take too long. You got better things to do. Probably not going to get caught if you don't talk about it. And then you're going to do a better job. You're going to be more accurate. In this town, there's a crazy amount of missorts. Those machines, I don't know. I guess they run multiple towns through this machine. And I guess, yeah, static electricity. I never thought about that either. But there's a crazy amount of missorts. There'll be like East Hampton in there. There'll be Southampton in there. I mean, I read the mail anyway, so I catch them. So yeah, there's a lot of missorts. That's crazy, but 2 bundles doesn't take too long. It just makes it easy. Makes it easier. Makes for a smoother experience. You're going to be more accurate. You're going to be faster, and that's what counts, right? A second time, I got done. I improved by, an hour and a half or more. And the postmaster's like, on the third day, you need to improve. You need to get better. Like, man, I got a little buttered on that. I didn't talk back. But then, in the evening time, he was like, yeah, he said that you should work here on your day off. Call and say you want to work here. So obviously, he doesn't think I'm a shitty worker. But so that, don't take comments wrong. Don't talk back. Some supervisors just don't have tact, but they don't mean it that way. But you could take it that way. So restraint of tongue and pen is a good thing, a good practice, because they probably not intending to shit on you, but you could take it that way, and I definitely did. I was like, I've never seen the route before, man. The day before, I got better by 2 freaking hours. I didn't know anything about the area, dude. What the fuck? And then, different shots, different rules. There's one office I really like to work at, and that's Pittsfield. And I haven't worked in Pittsfield in a while, but they like my work. And one of the reasons why I like working there is because their expectation for you to be back is like 8 o'clock. They probably would like you back sooner, but no later than 8. This shop here, they kind of want you back by 4. Got back by 4 o'clock. There was a guy that was arguing about not wanting to take marriage mail out, and he was like, "Have you ever seen me ever come back after 4?" And the postmaster's like, "I never seen, and that's not what we're talking about." So I'm like, man, at my home office, it's 6. However, no later than 7. So that's okay. I think that's a happy medium ground right there. 6 and then 7. I think that's a happy medium. But I find that 4 o'clock is, 4 o'clock expectation to be back. That kind of sucks, man, because anything can happen. 4 o'clock is cutting it real tight. I mean, I got done by 3:30. I got to work. Yeah, I got out at like 10 of 9, I think. So that's like 6.5 hours. I got the route done, That's pretty tight. And of course, there was no papers that day, so it was a smooth day. So if it's a regular route, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. I like that 8 o'clock, it's like, okay, not that I'm trying to stay out to 8, but it just allows you to work, and let you breathe. So I really like that shop for the 8 o'clock rule. I like how their managers are. The managers don't really get on your shit. They let you do your job, which I like. So I'm thin-skinned and I don't take constructive criticism too well. So, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to take that kind of stuff that we get in a bad attitude. But proud of myself. I didn't have a bad attitude. I didn't talk back. And then, in the evening time, I, received a compliment. So obviously, he just didn't mean it that way. He's just being honest. Like, yeah, you need to improve. which I didn't like. I did need to improve, and I have the goal of trying to improve every day. So I mean, you just, you know, yeah, don't take the shit personally. One thing I'll say is get better for yourself. Don't get better because you want to please the boss or you want to please the post office. Get better because you want to make yourself happier about being better. Then it doesn't matter. Hey, what's up, Ollie? Oh man, I'm telling you, the weather sucks, man. Ollie, dude. Oh man, the freaking weather here. I I shouldn't have left California, man. I should have. Yeah, I should have took the job in California, man. This weather, especially up there in North Adams, Jesus. The snow. I'm using hiking boots that have the cleats because of the ice. And walking through the snow. I got thermals on though, and I got the REI coat. It really works. It's really good. The thermals definitely work pretty well. That's really solved a lot of the problems wearing the thermals. But then what happens is once it gets in the 30s, then it's too damn warm, but yet it's too cold, right? So it's like, okay, just stay below 20 degrees. Now my thermals work. So yeah, and it's raining yesterday and it's raining today. So yeah, I'm getting the roots done. I'm getting better. I'm learning a lot. Like I've been talking about park points, um, being more efficient and just being easier with myself about, yeah, if you've never been on the route before, you don't know the address. So yeah, it just like, yeah, get better for yourself and tune everything else out, So yeah, I passed my 90-day probationary period. So I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't receive a letter, but yeah, my supervisor says I passed it. So that's cool. I didn't get fired. Um, I didn't receive a 30-day review or 60. I don't want to receive that crap anyway. Even as an Uber driver, comments, I never really wanted to read comments, dude, other than the positive ones. It's like a 4-star. Why are you compelled to give a reason? I'm not someone that works too well under constructive criticism. Some people do, like fighters. Some fighters need their corner to get on their case, some don't. Some won't work well under that. And I'm kind of like the latter on that. I don't handle that too well, especially when I'm a speed oriented person and I know I'm working fast. And then I have someone trying to fuck with me about my speed, because I'm a stubborn, prideful person, I guess. Yeah, so that's it's hard when I know that I'm cranking. But yeah, I'm learning about what's efficient. Smooth is fast. Don't something you think you're doing that's better isn't. Sometimes you think something's better and it's not. Um, so yeah, just getting the reps in on a route, then you get better because then you get to know the route. Then you know what to expect. Because when you're new on a route, you're learning the route by just reading the mail. Then you know where it's going. So you know that it's going to be slower. And then once you know it, then you get faster and then you can focus on other things. And I tell you, well, that's why I break the rules and I use a 2-bundle scheme because I know it's faster that way. 3 bundles, it's slower. I mean, it's just slower. So out of sight of the supervisor, they're not going to see me, and I'll probably see them if they're there. Then I won't do it. And other than that, how are they going to know? You know what I mean? You're making 2 bundles at the start of each loop. So yeah, you get better. I tell you though, if you want to make the mail more accurate and faster, mark your mailbox. I tell you, Oftentimes, I'm coming to an apartment building that's like a house, but it has 4 apartments in it. And there'll be 4 freaking mailboxes, and 3 of them won't have any markings on them. Now, logically, you could be like, as long as every mailbox has one individual's mail, does it matter? You would logically think that 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes time to try to figure out which box belongs to who. So if people want faster mail, make the mailbox visible so the mailman who's delivering mail at this address can easily see where it is, because sometimes I'm circling a house looking for it. And then 2, oh man, who belongs here? Who belongs here? I can't see any names, no numbers on these boxes. I have to rule out. And so, yeah, you want to make the mail more accurate. Well-marked mailboxes. The CCAs like myself that are covering the route typically have never been on the route before. That happens. Often a CCA is covering for a regular that's out, has never seen the route before, doesn't know the route, which slows him down. And then he's going by numbers of the houses, and he's going by numbers in well-marked mailboxes. So that's huge. That's a huge part. Yeah, mark your mailbox. It's going to be a lot more accurate. And then the mail person's going to be able to go right to it and boom, bam. Sometimes some neighborhoods are better than others at that. Some neighborhoods are real good at that. And you flow right through that loop and you get it done because there's no guesswork. There's no hunting for the mailbox, and it's smooth. And you just go right through that loop and you're having a good day. Some neighborhoods, not real good about marking the mailbox, and then you're playing the old ruling out deducting method. Or, okay, as long as everybody has mail that's the same person in each box, well, then that's what you're going to have to get, right? I mean, yeah. So that's a big time killer, hunting down the mailbox, and the comedy of that, where you have a resident that'll be like, oh, yeah, I've been around here. I can see, I know, because the mailman, he comes up this route and goes this way and all this way, and you're looking all over the place down there at the freaking the sidewalk. Yeah, it's because I've never been on the route before. So yeah, standard place for a mailbox is always good. So, but the weather, I tell you, the hands, it is all about wicking moisture, insulating, and then the wind protection. Absolutely. The thermals, got these thermals on, they make a world of difference. Oh man, the weather here though, man, it sucks, man. But the precipitation every week. But those hiking cleats, I broke one of them. One of the chain things broke. But REI, they're sending me another pair. But they're good. Makes a world of difference in walking on the ice. Especially in some neighborhoods, they don't really take good care to shovel their sidewalks or even their steps. And it slows you down. So those cleats, those hiking cleats that I had, made a world of difference. I'm flying through the ice and doing good. Just don't walk on a steel and tile. Those cleats, you'll slide. You gotta be careful about that. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's hard to transfer. I'm gonna have to wait a year. I think I'm going to go back to California, and I'm going to apply. Probably back in Lakewood would be a good place. Lakewood would be perfect. It's a residential type town. Yeah, thank you, man. Congrats on the house too, Ollie. Yeah, I don't like being heavy either, and That's why the snowmobile suit worked, but man, it was too heavy. You're like 50 pounds. But the thermals are a little bit more lightweight. Yeah, probably to Lakewood. I mean, I wouldn't complain about any area. The residential areas definitely would be where you want to go. The business complexes are doable. I mean, they're not the most difficult, but they're cumbersome. So, yeah, being in a residential setting, being the mail guy, where you can walk a lot of loops. So, Lakewood, where I lived, right beside Long Beach, would be sweet. I have to wait a year, and then I'm going to apply. I'm going to do that. I got some money saved, and I know the area still, so that's going to be a plus. Because man, North Adams, just the way that the town is set up, it's on a freaking hill. And I've been cheating really bad eating wise, and I'm still 174 pounds, which is unbelievable because I've kind of fallen off the wagon about eating healthy. I've been eating freaking cake and chocolate bars, and I'm 174 pounds. So I guess walking's not bad. I mean, I should be freaking back to being, I have been under 180 pounds consistently. I haven't gone over 180 yet. So I'm pretty surprised because I've been cheating on the old pizza and the cakes. Yeah, when you're working the 3-hour commute, man, it's freaking killing my wallet. It's killing my time. I don't really have much time because I'm driving 3 hours a day to and fro from work, man. Oh, man. Gas money. So, yeah, that's really killing the wallet. Other than that, the post office pays pretty good. It's good pay. I'm averaging over $2,200 per check net. I'm doing a little bit of a cheat. Yeah, it was pretty much the pandemic that got me to be wise about my weight. Yeah, that made me lose the weight because I'm sure that I was 300, and I don't have my double chin. Yeah, I get over 50 for sure. I'm getting like 11 hours a day, and oftentimes I would be doing 10 days in a row, at least 11 hours a day on the clock. So yeah, it definitely makes people quit, and that is a huge part to the attrition rate of the post office is people don't want to work till 6. And yeah, that's the thing is some routes, because I'm new on a route, it'll take me to 6. Sometimes if I'm really new and it's a big route, I'm out to 8. So yeah, you can be out there for a while. You get paid by the hour, but technically it's kind of, you get paid by the route kind of. And yeah, what happens is if you're a CCA, you get done with the route on time, well, you're going to get sent back out to help somebody else. Say I get done at 3:30, well, I didn't get to go home. I'm now doing collections on the collection boxes, or I'm getting told to go do a piece off another mail carrier. They on regulars, they have a no overtime list, but that doesn't count for CCAs because they don't want to pay the overtime to the regulars, so that regulars will tell the boss, well, I need an hour. And then they have to take that hour and give it to a CCA to do. So yeah, you're going to be out as a CCA until 6. or till 8. If the office has an expectation of 8, then you're going to be out till 8. And you're going to do that. And you're not going to get a predictable day off like today. I was told to call in to see if I had a day off. So I didn't know. You know what I mean? I don't know when my day off is going to be. So yeah, when it comes to scheduling things, it's tricky. I'm single, pretty much a loner type guy, so I can handle that. But if you're a family guy, has family stuff to take care of, and they place you freaking 50 miles away, you're gonna have to make that choice about taking care of your personal life versus your work life, because it's hard to take care of your personal life doing this job for sure as a CCA. As a regular, different story. If you're in a situation where you live close to work, you're a regular, you own a route, and then it's good. You just have to wait it out. And then you're going to lose the money because they're not going to let you work the overtime. That's a big part of that is the reason why of attrition. Secondly, management is a big reason for the attrition. There's a lot of good managers, okay? There are. Most of them are good. But there are those arrogant managers that can't handle their authority because they're working for the government and now they're a boss, and it gets to their head, man. And they're all about the freaking numbers. And that's why people take shortcuts doing stupid things, because they don't want to receive the heat from the supervisor who's the dick. And so they're doing stupid things because they're afraid of the supervisor. They won't take lunch breaks because they're afraid to take the lunch break because they don't want to listen to the supervisor. So they're what you call the runners. That's because it's management, micromanagement, the micromanagers. I used to make a list to help me not miss packages that are in the back. And one of my managers like, you can't make a list, man. I mean, there's no such rule that says I can't. Real micromanagement types. You just gotta, don't rat yourself out. Do what you do and don't talk about it. Then they don't know. You know what I mean? Some are cool. Some will say that they've made a list. You know what I mean? Don't care as long as you get the job done. But some do, and they'll. So you got some types that are dicks. You got some that'll call you on the phone. How you doing out there? You know what I mean? And then give you a bunch of shit when you get back. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stories out there. I have a friend who's a steward, a union steward, so he knows a lot of the riffraff. You know what I mean? And management, don't fire management. So what they do with the bad managers at the post office is they just move them around pretty much. They take care of their own, I guess. There's stories where there's a manager who beat up an employee. He's still working for them. You know what I mean? They just moved him somewhere. I mean, that's crazy. Crazy. A union at UMass, I think, is stronger. There's people at UMass that were fell asleep on the job who didn't get fired. But I guess that's what they do, is they'll just transfer the manager somewhere else. And therefore, so management and work-life balance, two major things. at the post office that creates attrition. Um, Definitely. Um, yeah, but I like doing the mail. I like it. Um, I like the fitness aspect of it, the walking around, going up the hills. I miss running. I haven't ran in a long time, so I won't be able to probably run like I used to, which I have remorse about because I loved running. Even when I was heavy and fat, I was running then and enjoying running. So I have bad feelings about that. That sucks. The commute time. Um, so yeah, the grind about getting the route done. Just yeah, ignore everything. Get better because you want to get better, um, and then you're gonna get better. Basically, it is just grabbing mail and bring it to a box. They complicate things with paperwork. You have to do these scans and you have to do all this paperwork and it clusters things and you have to have 3 bundles. If you want to make the mail better, streamline it. Yeah, it's easy to fall off sometimes. And I find that I'm cheating more because I've cheated more. It's like once I start eating cake, now I'm having a harder time not eating the cake. Um, yeah, it's like, whoa, it wasn't hard. Now it's harder for me not to cheat, go out and eat those donuts. Because once you start back in eating like crap again, it's, woo, yeah, it's absolutely, man. I'm telling you, yeah, you're absolutely right. A 4-day work week. But I've talked about that at the post office, just talking. And people were like, no way, man. I'm like, dude, a 4-day on, 4-day off work week. Even if you have to come in for a day, you would have 3 days off. Why wouldn't you like that schedule, man? I mean, yeah, this 1 day random, not knowing when, it's rough for people if you want to have a life. Because I go home and I go to bed, and I get up super early. Yeah, it's just that. And the pandemic has let people realize that, yeah, there's more than just going to work. And if I didn't have the debt that I have over my head, I probably wouldn't be doing this job. I'd be doing fitness, trying to be more of a YouTuber doing fitness stuff, I think. Because then I could live more minimalistic and not have to bring in the money to pay the debt. Yeah, because there's more to life. Because living minimalistic can actually be really good. Because I was really happy running, really just running, getting out there. That really freaking, yeah. I think, yeah, that's part of why I love being an Uber driver is because it gave me that freedom over my time. Or, yeah, I could run in the morning, not have to worry about crap. I could drive across the country next month and I could do it. Um, don't have to ask for permission. Yeah, that's a huge piece of freedom, being self-employed that way. Um, yep. Um, yeah, not having to deal with the micromanagement. Yeah, that's definitely time. Is time work balance, man. Work life balance is huge. It's important. Because really, you can use work as an excuse to to avoid life. Really, you can avoid a lot by the excuse of going to work, because you have to go to work, but then you're not taking care of yourself. Yeah, there's more important things. I mean, I don't want to live off the grid, but in a way, I could do a pseudo off the grid life. I would. Because then, you know what I mean? It's not completely, but yeah, I don't know, man. But post office, it's not a bad job. I like it. It's active work. I can actively see how I improve. It's a roller coaster of feelings. When I don't complete a route on time, I feel really bad. But then I feel really, really good when I notice a clean cut improvement. And when I complete the route on time, that really gives me happiness. And that's all. I am only trying to get better because I want to make myself feel better, which I think is good. And I think that's my advice to people working. Don't try to do good to please the boss. Do good to please yourself. Therefore, what you're doing to improve has nothing to do with the job. It's to do with yourself. And then you're going to get better and you're going to be happier because trust me, bosses are the bosses, man. They always find a reason to be petty, So then you're only going to be let down when you believe, like yesterday, like I misinterpreted. Yeah, I knew that I did good, and and now the boss is saying the exact opposite. Yeah, you're gonna have feelings about that. You're gonna be pissed off. I wanted to argue, man. I was like, "Fuck you, dude. You're full of shit." I didn't know the freaking route at all yesterday. I didn't know the area, my addresses. And I got better by like 2 hours. What the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, but then he's like, "Oh yeah, you did good, and you should be wanting to work here on your day off or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, he didn't mean it badly. He just was saying that you need to improve today." Which, yeah, I was gonna improve that day. But yeah, that's one thing about like how I think about that a lot about language and how you can take something, how someone just means objectively, yeah, you need to improve today, but how you can take that and really get butthurt about that when he doesn't mean it that way, right? That's the beautiful thing about language and how, yeah, you can really feel like I've been given a rash of shit when I wasn't. So now I'm catching all these ideas of paranoia about like, oh man, now I got someone, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. Take things objectively, ignore shit. Do what you're told, and everything else, just ignore it. In one ear, out the other. Everything else, just fucking ignore the shit. Don't worry about it. Then you don't have to lose any freaking mental energy getting mad about what the fuck, because it's senseless. All it does is distract you and rent space in your head. I mean, if I know I'm doing better, then I know I'm doing better. You know what I mean? Who gives a crap what anybody thinks? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, good. Don't take things personally. Yeah, don't talk back to the boss because I wanted to. I wanted to argue. So yeah, like that list, being told I couldn't make the list because I was afraid I was going to lose productivity because of that, because I associated a lot of my speed with making that list. So I was worried. I got a little bit buttered about that. Yeah, I forget. I watched this YouTube video years ago that talked about 3 things that make the workers work for work rather than even money. That actually money doesn't really keep workers. That it's three things. It's autonomy, responsibility, and creativity. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, yeah, allowing a worker to have a little choice, a little breathability in how they do their job. Like, I want to make my list. Does it hurt anything? It helps me remember. What's useful about not letting me make my list? Allow me a little bit of freedom here, a little creativity in how I do my job. Autonomy, where you're kind of on your own a little bit, and some responsibility that you're responsible for your territory, It makes people happy. When you take some of that stuff away, you're going to make workers not like it. Especially micromanagement takes away the creative process of how you want to do your job, which then takes away your enjoyment of doing the job because you don't have a choice. They're basically turning you into a freaking robot. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that video, I don't remember where it is, but it's on YouTube, probably still. I don't know the title of it. But yeah, that was a really good video because it really rang true for me. I know that the jobs that I'm happier on are the ones that allow me to have a little choice and a little independence just to go and do your job, So yeah, in fact, perhaps that's the reason why a lot of people like driving for Uber. For the most part, you're free to do what you want to do. I don't like the idea that they can put everything vaguely under the sun under the user agreement. And then, well, if you want to drive, you have to accept it. So do you actually have a choice? Yeah, you can decline it, but then you can't drive. So what choice do you have? If you're driving, you have to agree to those terms. So as an independent contractor and you want to sell candy bars, I shouldn't have to worry about that. But you do because it's probably in there at the user, you know what I mean? So therefore, what freedoms do you have? And then some people are like, well, you have the choice. No, you don't. Well, you do, but then you can't drive. So what choice do you have? That's the I'm not 100% union, but you need a union because then the unfair balance of power is there, where you need to be able to have a life, and if you don't have a regulating force in there, you're not going to be able to have one. Because people are greedy. Greedy. There. I'm not a Marxist, really. But yeah, Bezos, a lot of the time working on Sundays and holidays is because of Bezos. He's a multi-billionaire. You know what I mean? When you're making that kind of money and you have a lot of people that are working for you on your warehouses and you're putting on bracelets to count idle time. I mean, yeah, there's an imbalance of power between what the leverage that they have upon an employee who's in a situation where he needs to keep his job. So without a regulating force of that, it gets way too carried away. And we can look back on history and see where it has. I mean, Jesus, back in the day, they've used the National Guard to shoot striking employees. And that's not just in Chicago. So, I mean, yeah, the railroad was, it's crazy. But yeah, the weather, keeping the hands, man. It's all about keeping the hands warm. That's the hardest thing. I found I bought these gloves that are heated gloves, and the first pair didn't work. However, they kept my hands warmer, and they were liners. But then I realized the reason why they kept my hands warmer, even without the heating working, is because they were loose to my hand. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. My hands can breathe. They're not tightly gripped by the glove. So then my hands aren't sweating as much. Then they're dry, and then they're going to be warmer. When I have my other gloves that fit nice and they're thicker, and like my hands are aching, freaking freezing, it has to be because my hands sweat. And now it's below 20, and that sometimes it was 5 degrees. I mean, man, 5 degrees out there. It's like, whoa. And yeah, the sweat on your hands in that 5-degree weather, your freaking hands are like, man, it's almost as if I don't have gloves on at all. So I realized that, yeah, man, it's breathability. You don't want to have tight gloves. You want to have gloves that loosely fit. So therefore, you have some air between you and the glove, and that the glove prevents the wind best as possible. Even though the heat didn't work, at least when I have the new pair, if the heat works, then what the heat will do is it'll dry out, hopefully, the sweat. Keep the gloves dry, then I'll turn it off, and then I can keep my hands warmer. Because that's the key. The feet and the hands, man. I got my rubber boots because now it's raining, and one of those snow days, it was snowing and it got kind of warm. So then the streets turned into a friggin' river, and I didn't have rubber boots. So my feet were wet and they're cold. It's like 34 degrees, just above freezing. Oh man, that's not fun. So yeah, when you're not prepared, that's when the job sucks. Be prepared, it's okay, it's good. You're prepared. But yeah, the weather, and I'm not looking forward to lightning. I can handle snowstorm. I've done that, but the lightning has me a little nervous. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. The lightning. That's just something. I'm afraid of lightning anyway. I don't want to be out there touching cluster boxes with a key, when there's lightning out there. That makes me nervous. Yeah, it's not something I want to do. Not like flying a kite and having a key at the end, Hey, I have a key in my hand, and I'm putting it inside a freaking metal contraption that probably weighs a ton. Hey, you're out and open a little bit with this cluster box too, and the odds of it being struck are probably pretty good. That kind of plays my mind a little bit. So I think on those days where there's lightning, probably be a little slower those days. Outside of that, I get it done, but yeah, lightning days, I'm not putting myself in that situation. So yeah, it's crazy, but today's a good day to have off because it's raining and it's going to turn into a wintry mix. So that's cool. I have a day off. It's a good day. Tomorrow, let's see what the weather's going to be. It's going to be 25 degrees, so it's going to feel a lot colder. It's going to be 4 degrees at nighttime. And there's definitely levels of cold. Like when it's in the 30s, it feels warm after you get used to the 5 degree. But once you get down to the 20, that's the echelon where Then once it gets down below 10, that's another level that you can distinctly, yeah, it's distinct. That's where your hands, yeah, it's going to be 19 in North Adams and -5. Woo-hoo. The wind, 10 miles per hour. Yeah, it's going to be cold, but thermals, got the thermals on. It's good. I don't think I'm going to return my other heated gloves because my batteries work. So I'm just going to keep the other gloves for the batteries. Then I can have my gloves with 2 sets, which would be, literally like 7 hours worth of heat. So, and then what I do is in my mail truck, I put the gloves on the vents. And one of my pair of gloves that I have actually dry really fast. Like within a minute, they're dry, which is pretty cool. Then I can just rotate the gloves on the vents. That's a good way to keep the hands dry. Because that's kind of the worst thing about the rain in the 30s is your hands don't stay dry. And then you're colder because, it's worse than in the snowstorm because you just can't avoid the wet. It's just the weather here, man. I like the dry heat. I mean, yeah, when in California, when you're away from Long Beach, yeah, it was so hot that touching the car for a second, you're literally burning your hand. Being inside a mail truck in that situation would suck. You'd want to be outside. You don't want to be in a mail truck when it's 120, because then it's like 140 in there. So yeah, that would be different. You'd want to be outside and stay hydrated. Yeah, but in California, there's a lot of walk-in routes. Dismounts are the worst. Box to box, driving post to post is good. That's a fast route. That's not bad. But I like walking routes because it helps me feel like I'm going to keep my weight better, which I'm surprised. So yeah, I like walking routes. Dismount routes just seem slower because you have to curb, park, brake, unseatbelt yourself, lock, and then get boom, and then rinse, repeat. Takes some time. And you never want to get caught exiting a vehicle that's running. I mean, you'll get fired immediately. They don't have any forgiveness for that. Definitely don't do that. You'll get pulled off the street if they catch you without a seatbelt. You don't want to get caught doing that. Often you hear stories about people getting fired for petty things. That's probably because the supervisors don't like them. So therefore they look for any petty reason to get rid of them. And they're in their 90 days, so they get fired. Stuff like that. It's kind of why you want to behave and not raise hell about things and try to be smooth. Don't freaking talk back and don't get fucking argumentative. Be time conscientious. They like runners. Yeah. If you're a runner, they like you, I guess people probably would consider me a runner, but I'm not quite a runner. I don't like the idea that people that take shortcuts that get done in X amount of time, that they're the ones that get looked at, and then they base your performance off of a shortcutter. That's not right. And I think that might happen at sometimes. The reason why that person's getting done so fast is because he's taking shortcuts. And I'm no rat. I don't fucking tattle or, I've seen other CCAs go up to a boss and be like, oh yeah, this mail was inaccurately delivered. What's the point of that? I don't do that shit. Even if I don't like you, I don't do that crap. I don't like a mail carrier that sees something and it, makes, what I mean? I'm not like that. Um, but yeah, when you see inaccurate mail, it's because you got a runner on your hands who's trying to be quick, trying to be fast, and he's making mistakes because he's concerned about time. He wants to get done, and he's making mistakes. And that is merged and married with management. So just got to ignore, just do the job accurately and as smooth as possible, and then you'll do it faster. And don't worry, don't get yourself in trouble by taking freaking shortcuts, man. You're basically stabbing your coworker in the back, taking a shortcut by hopping, not following the rules. And then the people that are following the rules can't keep up, but they're following the rules. So pretty much the runner stabs the coworker in the back. Pretty much. It's kind of like anti-team in that way, where their performance is what's held up as the gold standard because they're taking shortcuts. It's not good. That's their, you know what I mean? It promotes bad behavior. So some people I'm not saying that they're dicks and that they're doing bad things. They're just trying to be quick. You know what I mean? But then they're making mistakes. No one's perfect, but you make more mistakes when you're trying to be Mr. Blazer cowboy running through the streets, trying to get done as fast as possible. So I try to focus on being smooth. Then when I'm smooth, I'm going to be faster and I'm going to be more accurate. That's what matters. Then I don't have to deal with angry Karen coming out. I'll take the time to do a certified. One customer came up to me yesterday and it's like, oh yeah, they're certified, and the guy never exited the vehicle. It's possible he's full of shit, but it's possible he wasn't. It's possible the postal person stopped, thought no one was in the house, and drove off because he was concerned about time and didn't want to exit the vehicle and bet that the person wasn't home or something. I don't do that. What I have done is I will write the slip prior to exiting the vehicle. Then I will knock and I'll wait a bit and then scan the slip. I used to get there, knock, and then start writing the slip at the door. And then if they haven't answered by the time I've written the slip, I've given them enough time, then I post it. But either way, I make sure that I get out and I make that attempt. I'm not going to wait 5 minutes though. I'm not doing that. I can't do that. But I do deliver the package to the door. In North Adams, there's a lot of homes that are quite far away from the road, and they're up a hill, and it's always these kind of houses that need a package. And they're nice homes. And sometimes their packages are pretty big, and I'm cutting it close to 6 o'clock, and I only have 5 more houses. So therefore, I'm trying to get it done by 6. And I get in trouble for that. I get back, and the supervisor's like, I don't know why you're staying out too late. To me, I only have like 4 houses left, man. And so I just want to get these 4 houses. And then, of course, there's that one house that has 500 feet walking up a damn hill, a long driveway to get to the door because it doesn't fit in the mailbox. So it's the way it works. Murphy's Law. So I don't cheat on those things. but some people will. Some mail carriers will be real strict about shoveled out mailboxes and not deliver the mail. Me, I'm just as angry, but I'll deliver it. A dog going crazy, I won't deliver them. I'm not going to do that. You get attacked by a dog, you probably get fired. It's a safety thing, and they don't want to pay the money for disability, so they'll fire you probably. So yeah, I'm not going to get attacked by a dog. Just you don't want to control your dog, then you don't get the mail that day. Especially if it's angry. It's a friendly dog. I don't care. I'm not like automatically I see a dog and I'm not going to attempt it. I'm going to talk to the dog. I'm going to try to get a judgment. And then I'll deliver the mail. I mean, I have not done 100% reject of the mail because I see a dog in the yard. But yeah, when it's a scenario where a guy's trying to tell dogs that come back here and they're not listening and they're barking and they're aggressive dogs, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Not doing it. I'm not going to do that. A pit bull and a German shepherd going nuts in the yard, and then the guy doesn't have any control over him. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm screwing around. So, yeah. Other than that, I'm going to do my laundry today. Take care of some tax. Pretty much almost got all my taxes done. I think I'm going to be okay. I don't think I'm going to owe that much money. So I'm still going to have some money in the bank, I think. So I'm pretty psyched about that. I was really worried. I made only $28,000 last year. I thought I made more money. So I guess. Well, actually, my Instacart. I have to check the Instacart. I think I'd made more than that with the Instacart. That's right. Because when I really started making the money was in February with Instacart until May. So that should definitely add. I probably made 35. I thought I made more money than that. But I didn't, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna probably go back to California probably in a year. I'm gonna time it just right this time. I'm gonna head back in August, probably, because then I'll be up on the lease here. This apartment's nice though. They finally fixed the water. Finally, the apartment's nice, and the cost of this place isn't bad. It's $875 a month. My electric bill's $45. It's not bad. It's not bad. You can't really complain about that. So I don't know. But the weather, yeah, I can't stand it. So I guess the hours are good, depending on the office you're at. So you move to another area that's cheaper, then they don't have as much work. So yeah, to transfer, pretty much you have to reapply. And then you lose any seniority. But I'm in a small shop. So being in a small shop, there's no seniority to be had. One person quit, so I guess I'm moving up one slot. So, but For anybody that comes across the video, it's a good job. Don't allow a bad interaction stain you're moving forward. Just ride it out, ignore it, have thick skin, and it'll be worthwhile once you become regular. Because the regulars get time, they get Sunday off, they get, I believe, regulars get 2 days off every other week, I think. And they get time. And then you have the matching and all that stuff. Then you have time that you can use. Then it becomes the job that people think it is. So then, you've paid your dues by the time that's happened. Then you can get on a route. And even if you're on a shitty route, if you're going to be on that route, you're going to know that route. And it's going to get better because then you're going to know the friggin' route. Then you know all the loops off the top of your head. You know all the addresses. Then it becomes so much easier. Once you get to remember a route like that, then it's not difficult. It's difficult for people because they're on a route they've never been on before and they don't know any of the addresses. And so therefore you got to objectify it and you got to just be like, yeah, you're new on the route, man. Don't take it personally. The more you do the route, the more you're going to remember and the better and the easier it's going to get. It's that simple. Then it comes easier. Then you're going to be able to do it in 8 hours. It's not a big deal. Then you're going to remember the packages easier. And the reason why is because you know the route better. Then it's easier to remember the packages. It really is. So, yeah, it's just, that comes with reps. And as being a new CCA, you're going to be helping out on multiple routes. And you might not be on a route that's the same over and over again. You're going to always be coming to a different new route and be in that situation. So that's just something to keep in mind. The more you do the route, the better you're going to get. And then you can have more confidence. Then when you finish a route, then you know you can. And then you're going to get more confident. And then you're going to realize that, yeah, man, you can do the job. Get better for yourself. Get better to please yourself. Because if you're getting better to try to please management, you probably credit card balances. What the fuck? I don't remember making that freaking charge. It's crazy. But other than that, I appreciate you being a subscriber, Ollie. It's always good to read your comments. It's pretty cool. Oh, I have a negative 434. That's freaking better. I thought it was a positive. I have a statement credit of 434. That's freaking awesome. Because I was like, I haven't used this card. How the frick is it 434 freaking dollars? I'm about to lose my mind. Oh, man. That would suck. That would suck. Man, I had this charge of this, freaking askme.net or some shit. I looked at what it was, and I'm like, dude, I never bought anything from them. What the fuck? So I contacted Discover, and I'm like, they asked me if I wanted to contest every charge. I'm like, yeah. They don't even list on their site what they sell other than like these solutions. And I'm like, I didn't buy anything from them. I didn't know if it was like LastPass or something, but still, that's not that expensive. So I don't know how the hell that happened, but Discover, they've taken care of it. I contested it. So got to be careful when you're. I think what happened was I inquired about a property that I wanted to think about, maybe like if I could buy. Um, and I think I put in my card number, maybe. It's possible. I'm usually really good about not doing shit like that. And then maybe, yeah, you get a lot of spam, and then you've enrolled for something where it's like, hey, you got a trial. Yeah, it's something, some trick like that, maybe. It's even the people that are good about not getting into that shit might catch some people on something like it has to be something like that. Because it's just some kind of like academic portfolio something. It's not like a bona fide product they're saying that they sell you. It's something like, yeah, I don't know. It's insane. So without a doubt, I didn't receive anything from it. I'm not using whatever they're selling. So it's not like Dropbox or something like that. I have Dropbox, and sometimes Nero software. They have like a weird name. I've bought Nero software. I was thinking maybe it was something like that, but it wasn't. So therefore, I've got the money back. So that's good. That's one thing. I'm getting back on my diet. I'm going to save some money because it's expensive going out to eat all the time. I'm getting back into that. Cheap. Going out, eating at the grocery store. Those cakes. Oh man. Freaking eating a frick ton of cake. And I'm amazed. I'm 174 pounds today. Like, wow. I'm like, I've been eating really terrible since December. And I'm like, still well under 180 pounds. I'm like, man, I'm surprised. I'm really freaking shocked because I've been eating Swedish fish and the Lifesaver gummies and a giant freaking Hershey bar every single day. So I'm surprised I haven't gone over 180. 2 days ago, I was 172. So I'm pretty shocked because I've been eating some pizzas. You're talking eating a whole freaking pizza. And you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm pretty surprised. Maybe it's the hamburger that got me all freaking huge. Eating a hamburger every day. It's possible. But my Garmin, I love it, but I don't know if it's accurate. Because it does say that I'm burning like 3,000 calories a day. Which then that means I can eat a little bit. But I think it's taking some of my drive time in the mail truck and counting them as steps. So I'm not quite sure. On days I'm walking mostly, then I can kind of believe it. But on days that I'm doing a lot of driving, I don't believe it much, I don't think, because I think it's counting my drive time in the truck when I go in really slow and getting towards the mailbox. It's counting those as steps. So then that's a big cheat. And it's basically lying to yourself. Yeah, you're only burning 24. This is telling me I'm burning 3,500 because it thinks some of my truck driving is steps. So I don't know. But it says I'm low stress. Low stress. So I'll catch you guys later, and thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching in the future if you watch. Yeah, it's I haven't got sick yet, which I'm good. Feel good about. I keep my distance from people pretty much. So, thank you, Ollie. Yeah, I'm gonna do my laundry. I'm gonna cook some rice, take care of some personal business, take care of my taxes, and go do some bona fide grocery shopping for the week. I love bananas, but freaking A, they get brown too damn quick. I don't like the bananas that are overly ripe. I like bananas that are just ripe. That's the banana I like. So I tried Mellow Gold. Not really a fan. It's basically a grapefruit that's been tamed down. Just stick with the oranges. Yeah, I'm in the morning time. I'm eating oatmeal still. So, yeah. Thank you.